Hey, this is Mr. Barr, and this is an edulastic lesson. This is part 1. Make sure that you're listening for the lesson ID as I talk. I will not write it down. So here's our title. You're going to write this into your notebooks. This is slope-intercept form. Into standard. So that's the title, slope-intercept form into standard form. You're putting this into your notebook. Y equals mx plus b, ax plus by equals c. This first one is called slope-intercept form. This second one is called standard form. And the video ID for this piece of it is water. W-A-T-E-R. You will need that. All right. You're going to stop the video and you're going to go do the edulastic that goes with this. This is part 2. Remember to listen for the lesson ID. You will need that. Part 2. I have an equation right here that is in standard form. 3x plus 4y equals 10. I am going to move the x. I'm going to circle the x, and I'm going to put it right after the equal sign. I call that move the x. What I have after moving the x is this. I have 4y equals, ready? Negative 3x plus 10. Notice that it became a negative. It became the opposite. I call this a move the x. I'm going to do another move the x. Let's go with negative 2x plus 6y equals 10. To move the x, I circle the whole x component, and I'm going to put it right after the equal sign. And what am I going to have? I'm going to have 6y equals, ready? 2x plus 10. Notice that the sign is opposite sign of what it was. All right. Oh, I need to give you the lesson ID for this chunk of it, and it is food. The ID for this chunk of it for part 2 was food. This is part 3. Remember to listen for the lesson ID. Our next piece is called divide by the y. After moving the x, we will so if I have 4y equals 8x plus 12, I divide everything by the y term. So I'm going to go divided by 4, divided by 4, divided by 4. gives me y equals 2x plus 3. Let's do another example of that. Dividing by the y. If I had 3y equals 2x plus 9, I would go divide by the y, divide by the y, divide by the y. What would I be left with? I'd be left with y equals 2/3 x plus 3. All right, please go do, oh, you need an ID for this one. The ID for this one is 27, the number 27. This is part 4. Remember to listen for the ID. After I've done move the x, divide by the y, I might have to simplify a fraction. So how do we simplify fractions? If I had 2 over 4, I can simplify that. I find a number that divides into the top and the bottom, divided by 2, divided by 2, and that leaves me with 2 divided by 2, which is 1, 4 divided by 2, which is 2. 2 over 4 is the same as 1/2. Let's simplify another fraction. Let's simplify 5/20. I find a number that can go into the top and the bottom, and I divide it. Divided by 5, divided by 5, equals 1. 20 divided by 5 is 1/4. That is how you simplify fractions. Let's see, the part ID or the ID for this one, let's go with paper. P-A-P-E-R. All right, this is part 5, my edulastic lesson part 5. Remember to listen for the lesson ID. We're going to put it all together now. The entire lesson is this. Move the x, divide by the y, simplify. Here's a full example. If I had 2x plus 2y equals 8, I start by moving the x. That gives me 2y equals negative 2x plus 8. I divide by the y. Divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2, and then I simplify, which gives me y equals negative 1x plus 4. All right, and the lesson ID for this one is 702. 702. Thank you for watching.